July was the hottest month on record. Last month's global average temperature was 62.51 degrees Fahrenheit. That's nearly 2/3 of a degree hotter than the previous record set in 2019. It's also more than 1 degree hotter than the average set over the last 30 years. Journalist and writer Jeff Goodell is here to break down what that means for us. Jeff is also the author of The Heat Will Kill You First: Life and Death on a Scorched Planet. I spoke with him recently for a CBS Saturday morning story. We met up in Texas. Jeff, it's good to see you again. June was the warmest month on record globally. Now it's July. The first response a lot of people has is it's summer, it's now August, it's supposed to be hot. Why are they wrong?
Well, it's true. I mean, it is summer and it is July and it is supposed to be hot, but it's not supposed to be this hot. I mean, we're seeing, these extreme heat records broken all over, not just in the United States, but all over the world. This is well within the kinds of warming and heat range that climate models have long predicted. What we're seeing is, the warming of our climate kind of playing out in real time. These kinds of extreme events are exactly what scientists and the climate models that they've had for decades have been predicting.
The other thing people say is, well, the Earth has always been through warming and cooling periods. And it's true. If you look back thousands and thousands of years or millions of years, why is this different?
Well, it's absolutely true. I mean, the Earth has gone through wild temperature swings. But what's happening right now is that we're having this acceleration of warming at a very rapid pace, much more rapid than any time in Earth's history that we know of. And look, the science on the relationship between burning fossil fuels, increasing CO2 in the atmosphere, and warming is rock solid. It is like the science of gravity. There is no question that as we burn fossil fuels and add CO2 to the atmosphere, we are heating things up. And the exact rate and pace of that and where exactly that plays out in these heat waves and other kinds of climate events that we're seeing, there can be some variability in that, but the basic facts of what's happening are very straightforward.
One thing we've talked about here, and you've talked about a lot, is it can be difficult to talk about this and handle this because heat is invisible. People don't see it, so they don't understand. You look outside, you can't tell necessarily if it's 65 degrees or 110. Why does that make things more difficult for you to get this message across?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really important point, because it's easy for all of us to look out the window and see when a hurricane, for example, is coming. The trees are starting to bend, and it's very visual. It registers with us very clearly. Heat, I look out the window in my office in Austin, Texas, and I can't tell if it's 80 degrees or 110 degrees. It looks exactly the same. We in the media do a lot of kind of poor messaging around heat. We show pictures when it's a heat wave. We show pictures of kids playing in fountains and things like that. In our language, there's a lot of vagaries around heat. You meet someone who's attractive, you call him or her hot. We have a lot of heat has a complex language in the way we talk about it. And so we're not very good at communicating the risks and threat of it. And people don't really grasp, the difference between that a few degrees of temperature can really make. And the consequences of going for a walk on a 100-degree day are very different than the consequences of going for a long walk on a 115-degree day, for example.
Well, in the book, I think you do a pretty powerful job of communicating some of this, as we've talked about. In the book, you're also an outspoken critic, where you talk very skeptically about air conditioning and that it can really help a lot of people, but not everybody can afford it. Why do you think air conditioning leads to complacency?
Well, because air conditioning leads to complacency because it essentially says, I'm okay, I'm in this air-conditioned room, what's the problem, right? It seals us off from the rest of the world. It seals us off from thinking about the fact that there are billions of people on this planet and hundreds of millions of people or tens of millions of people in the United States who do not have air conditioning, will not have air conditioning. They're not going to be protected from these extreme heat. One of the biggest risk factors as these temperatures rise are outdoor workers, farm workers, delivery, FedEx, and other kinds of delivery workers, postal workers, construction workers, people who are working on roads. They're not getting air conditioning. We're not going to air condition the oceans. We're not going to air condition the wheat fields and cornfields where our crops grow. So it leads to a kind of myopia about the scope and scale of the problem that we really face here.
The number we just saw on our screen there, I always think is stunning. It's one you cite in the book. The estimate, the average annual heat, extreme heat is what, 85 degrees or higher over the year. Right now, 30 million people across the globe live in extreme heat. One estimate is that by 2070, it's 2 billion. That's just an enormous increase. If people are dealing with this heat right now, are there little things they can do to help?
Well, the most important thing that they can do, a little thing they can do, is understand the risk factors. What to do when it's a hot day, how to get out of the heat. That's the most important thing. Access to cooling spaces, checking in on loved ones who may be more vulnerable. It's really important to remember that not everyone is equally vulnerable. Older people, people who have any kind of heart conditions, any kind of circulatory problems, pregnant women, people who are on certain kinds of medications like beta blockers and diuretics are much more vulnerable. Checking in on them. There's things that we can do in our houses, like, putting in thermal shades, what I just did in my house not so long ago, and it made a big difference. But the main thing is starting to understand that, a hotter weather does not mean kind of better beach weather, that hotter weather is very dangerous, and we need to think differently about these risks.
Okay, Jeff, I hope we're not taking another scorched walk by the Rio Grande anytime soon, but I have a feeling if things keep going this way, we might. The book is called The Heat Will Kill You First. Jeff, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Jeff. Always great to talk to you.
Okay.